What is gambling? The industry wants your money, but who? Welcome again to another episode of the 1% in Recovery podcast, where we encourage you to laugh every day, work hard, work hard in recovery, work hard in relationships, work hard in your job, business, school, just work. And to love unconditionally, put much more love out there and watch much more love return. Now, what we always say, recovery is beautiful, your EQ is your IQ, and you cannot outthink an emotional issue. We also encourage you to go to the website, lifeiswonderful.love, L-O-V-E, and download the Recovery Growth Scorecard, where you get to introduce free dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins. You start your healing now, you start that neuroplasticity, you start changing the transmitters, and that gets you on the road to recovery. Now, today we are going to be talking prediction markets, sports betting apps, as well as what is gambling. It's funny how now the gambling industry doesn't even know what is gambling, what is not gambling. Let me give you a little insight to the industry. Everything is gambling because everything is designed for the player to lose. Let me repeat that. Everything is designed for the player to use, whether you call it trades, contracts, entertainment, fun. Gambling is gambling. Whether we're talking about sports, the lines, the totals, the prop bets, the micro bets, the in-game betting, whether we're talking about prediction markets and we're talking about contracts, we're talking about trades. So whether you are regulated as your sports betting industry or whether you are part of a securities exchange like prediction markets, which Kalshi and Polymarket are. And now we have these commercials here in Texas, because in Texas there is no official sports betting. But now you have the ads, and Kalshi and Polymarket like to say that, you should do more prediction markets than sports betting apps, because with prediction markets, you keep more of your money. Well, let me give a disclaimer. 99% of all gamblers, whether they're betting with Fanatics, FanDuel, DraftKings, 365, or they're betting with Kalshi or Polymarket, will lose. 99% of all gamblers lose over time. That is a fact. Doesn't matter if one gives you a little more of a payout. It doesn't matter. There is a statistic out there now about Kalshi. Kalshi has 2 million active accounts here in the United States. Do you know how many are profitable? 780. 780 out of 2 million. You know what that percentage is? Less than 1%. But we'll round up. We'll give them 1%. 1% of all prediction market accounts are profitable. Guess what? A lot of people like to say, well, sports betting accounts, 94% of them are losers. Over time, it will run to 99%, especially now. Why am I so confident, especially now? Is because all the leagues, the NCAA, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Sports, FIFA, every sports league has sold their information to certain data companies like Genius, which ironically is partially owned by the NFL. And so now with all this extra information, so now when Vegas throws out the lines on any type of sporting event, any other type of event, guess what? The number's going to be tighter because now they have all the data. People don't realize how all the data is. Even before that, even about if you went back 3 years, 2 years, and you were actually looking at games, most games were decided in the last 5 minutes whether you were going to win or lose your bet. I'm not talking about the outcome of an actual game. I'm talking about winning or losing the bet, is because the number was so on point that they knew whether the line was going to win or lose. That's why even now there's constantly the percentages is do you want to cash out now? And that becomes now a big thing. Cash out now and, hey, take 80% of a win because you never know what's going to happen. There's a lot more fixes. There's a lot more unscrupulous activity in all types of games, whether we're talking about a specific player, we're talking about a specific event like a pitch, like, a certain amount of points, or how many threes someone's going to make, or how many yards someone's going to get. It's so on the point. So all of it is gambling. All it's designed for you to lose. And if you want to keep betting, bet. But it's like just going outside and throwing your money away. You're better off donating it to some charitable cause or giving it to a homeless person, because in the end, it's no longer in your wallet. It's gone. Whoosh, like the wind. And you want to convince yourself, because that's what gambling does, is that you're having fun. But anyone who consistently gets beat up, and I'm talking about beat up financially, and calls it fun and entertainment, really has to look at the way that they previously, especially men, the way they previously looked at women who would get beat up by their husbands and stay in the marriage. And they go, just get out, as though it was so easy. There is a reason why battered women stayed in relationships, currently stay in relationships, constantly make excuses for their spouse, even though deep down they know that this person is not going to change. Well, guess what? In gambling, prediction markets, sports betting apps, any of the lottery, scratch-offs, slots, casinos, guess what? They're no different. They are designed to beat you up financially, take all your money, give you some little bit of hope. And a little bit of hope is either by giving you a small win. Hey, you won $100. Hey, you won $300. Hey, you almost had a near win. No different than when the husband would take his wife out to dinner and go, here you go, here's a nice chicken dinner. Here's a nice restaurant with a white cloth. And then go home and something irritates him, and then the next thing you know, you're getting slapped, punched in the stomach, and you're on the ground. Well, in gambling, next thing you know, you have whatever money that you had in your account is gone. You have now taken out a loan, that money is gone. You borrowed money, that money is gone. You keep making excuses. So here is what needs to be done. The best thing to do is to seek help. You can't stop gambling on your own. I wish it was that simple. I really do. And I would have seen so many more people get better. But here's the thing. You can go to a treatment center. Now, very few actually specialize in gambling, but there are some out there. You can see therapists. Again, more and more therapists are specializing in gambling. They don't have experience. 12-step rooms. There's more 12-step rooms that talk about gambling, and you can go to those. There's also people like me, recovery coaches who have over 25 years of experience. And if you don't want to be coached, you can also focus on changing your character. Strong Leader, Strong Character course, only $84, less than $100. You will answer 3 questions on all your character traits, which in turn will make you a better person. You'll learn about honesty, hope, faith, courage, discipline, perseverance, willingness, everything that you need to do to move forward. So go to the website, lifeiswonderful.love, L-O-V-E, get the course, start changing your life. Because in the end, prediction markets, sports betting apps are designed to take your money. They can call it what it is, but it is gambling, and it is designed in the end to just take your money. You deserve better. You deserve recovery. You deserve love. You deserve to be loved or love others. And with that, we are going to conclude this episode of the 1% in Recovery Podcast.